welcome everybody to Head to Head Sports. I'm your host Brian Parker, along with my co-host Mr. Randall Hargrove. How you doing, sir?
All kinds of technical issues, brother. Jesus. I barely got up in this piece, man.
Oh my
Ah,
goodness, that is crazy.
I think it's some Browns or Bengals fans out there trying to sabotage me because they don't want to hear what I got to say.
And you are ready. You got your Steelers gear ready, so we definitely know what's going on now.
Yes, sir.
Man. Welcome everybody to season 4. Rants. 4 seasons?
4 years.
Wow.
That's
That is
incredible.
something.
That's
We are
incredible.
we are back for season 4 of Head to Head Sports, where we go into all 18 weeks of the NFL season, 4 weeks before the season gets started, and 4 weeks into the postseason as well. So, yeah, if you're doing the math, that is 26 weeks, which is that's 6 months.
That is crazy.
Half a damn year.
That's a lot of talking, brother.
That is a lot of talking, and we really will talk about different teams and everything else. But listen, y'all, couldn't do it without y'all's help and viewership. We are streaming live on LinkedIn. What's going on, Adam Osman? See that you joined. Welcome. We are streaming live now, y'all. LinkedIn, Facebook. We have our YouTube channel on Empower TV Network. Always, please go to YouTube, click on that bell. It'll let you know anytime we go live. And most recently, I have set it up where we are literally streaming live on Amazon Fire TV as well as Roku TV under Empower TV. In the past, we would normally post the show and it would be ready the following day for those that didn't catch it live. So it will still be available the following day on those channels, but most importantly, it is streaming live on Roku. So if you have a Roku device or Amazon Fire TV, simply download Empower TV Network. Not only will you see head-to-head sports, but you'll also be able to catch some of our other programming as well. But we are literally, and I'm watching it. I actually have it pulled up on my other computer to see if the live stream did go through, and it is looking really good. So I'm excited about that. So not double cast, not tri-cast, not quad cast, but quin casting is what we do.
Yo, that's awesome, man. I thought you added a few platforms, when I saw the list there. I thought a couple were new. So
Yes.
congratulations, brother. We
Thank
are
you.
growing.
Absolutely. Yeah, as long as I can find ways of adding the streams into it, it just makes it so much easier. And we understand that people get their content so many different ways, and the more platforms that you can add to it, it just expands that. And we've been seeing a lot of that lately. Paul Copeland, what's up, fellas? What's going on, Paul? Hope you're doing well, sir. Hope you're ready to talk about some football. So over the next 4 weeks, we will dive into two divisions a week until we get all eight of them out of the way. So 8 teams on set. But if there's other things that you guys want to throw in there too, as time permits, we'll certainly take a stab at that as well. But it's going to be the talk of the East this week. We're going to look at the AFC East as well as the NFC East. I guess unlike current years where I would joke, where I would joke about the NFC being the NFC least. Maybe not so much this year. NFC looks like it's going to be a stronger conference this year, and AFC, oh my gosh, AFC conference is going to be something to be reckoned with. This is going to be an AFC conference once again, Rand, where I think that, 9 wins, 10 wins, maybe even 11 wins may not get you in there. So.
Right, brother. Before we get into some football, I just want to take a brief moment to give a shout out to my band, Kendrick Colt.
Yes.
For those in the Charlotte area, I cannot ever leave this out.
Yes.
We will be playing tomorrow night in Bradshaw, which is Ballantyne. So anybody in the Ballantyne area, please stop in. You too, B. You've been there. 10 p.m. to 1 p.m. We'll be jamming all night. Saturday evening, we will be making our debut performance at the Brickyard, Uptown Charlotte.
You're going to the Brickyard?
At the Brickyard. That'll be 10 o'clock to 1. Please get there early. There will be a line for that one.
Oh, yeah. It's always a line at Brickyard.
Definitely. And then next weekend is your boy's birthday show. I'll be at Small Bar in Lower South End. So y'all stop through 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'll be jamming. Then 9 p.m. to midnight or whenever, there'll be a DJ inside. So stop through.
So y'all are going to be set up inside Small Bar?
We'll be set up outside from 6 to 9.
Okay,
I break down everything. And
I was going to say there's no room inside for a band. And
no. Then after we're done playing, I'm gonna go inside and party.
Nice. Yes. If you haven't been to Small Bar got that name. Honestly,
it really named.
That I don't know if Small Bar, which is smaller, Small Bar or Thirsty Beaver.
I've never been there, so I don't know.
It's like Small Bar too. It looks exactly like Small Bar, honestly, right there on Central Avenue in Hawthorne almost. But yeah, definitely check it out. Kendrick Colt, great band. Got these August birthdays. I had mine on August the 4th. Feels good to be 36 all over again. But
yeah, I know how you feel, brother. I know how you feel.
Yashika, welcome to the show. Adam says wild card will be important this year. Happy birthday, Rand. Absolutely.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. My birthday is August 26th. B's was August 4th. If you want to give him a shout out. We August babies. That's why we get along so well.
That's right. That's right.
Paul Copeland, I did see your comment too. Niners versus Steelers week 1. So we're going to get right to it.
I mean, out the gate. And when we get into that, we'll figure out who's going to be the starter. What up, friends? Yashika. We're going to figure out who's the starters are going to be for the 49ers as far as quarterback. Is it going to be Trey Lance? Is it going to be Purdy? What's going on in San Francisco? They got some good problems to have, I guess, at quarterback. And, some people say it doesn't really matter as long as Shanahan is cooking up all the plays back there and everything, and they got all their other weapons. So it'll be really, really interesting to see what we do with that. Hey, Shika, I'm glad you joined. I welcome all females, males to join the show. We love talking about football. I joke with my wife and I let her know, hey, listen, if you really want to impress your man, if you're not really a big football fan, watch Head to Head. So when you're sitting down with him on Sunday and he don't think you know what's going on and you start dropping some little nuggets, he's sitting there looking at you like, how you know that? So, and you don't have to sit there and talk about what you learned from Brian and Rand. You just sit there and just say, hey, you know what you can do? You can make him feel like he taught it to you. Say, baby, I just been listening to you when you be yelling at the TV, and I just started picking up the things that you said. Really? Yeah. Use that reverse psychology, ladies. Y'all do it to us all the time, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. It ain't like the first time you ever done it.
Yeah,
I know what you was doing. Yeah. So, Rand, I see that you got your feel of William Ben Rose. How you doing, sir?
What's up, man?
I see that you just came back from a trip to New York City.
Oh, that was amazing. Amazing time. Amazing time. It's always been on my bucket list. Like I've been saying, I've been a Yankees fan for over 40 years. We're talking going back to the days of Guidry and Dave Winfield. And I've always dreamed about going to a game in New York. Finally made it happen. Took the family. We had an amazing time. Sat with the true New Yorkers. Heard them bitching about the game. So I felt right at home.
Oh yeah, man. New York is man, that's my place. I can't wait. I'm counting down. I'll be there on the 1st of September for a couple of days to visit friends and all of that stuff. I call them family too, because a lot of them they're just that close to me like that. But it is definitely a different place. So you got to enjoy Yankee Stadium, man. I was like, oh man, I missed the stadium, and just used to be there all the time, watching all the watching Judge knock out homers and stuff like that. And but few and far between right now. I ain't gonna even go into that. They just struggling like nobody's business. Can't beat the Braves, can't beat the Stros, can't beat the Marlins. Yeah, I just, Aaron Boone.
Thin ice.
It's been real.
Thin ice. You know what I found out about New York, though, bro? Is they call it the city that never sleeps, and I find out why they got that name. It literally never sleeps.
Bro, it could be 3 o'clock in the morning, and if you are on the FDR, it will look like rush hour traffic.
Yes.
Yeah, subways are open. Food trucks are still open. There's always something open where you can go get something to eat. The clubs don't shut down at 2. The clubs can go as late as 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
People sitting outside having dinner, if you would call it that, at 4 a.m. Sitting outside.
Yeah. Like the sun going down was just a mere suggestion. Doesn't stop a thing. No. Not a damn thing. New York is live. Yeah, I picked that up my first couple of months there. I'm like, they for real about this never sleeping thing.
For real, man.
Yeah, they dead ass. Yeah. You can. I love that though. You can get around, and it's literally 10 to 12 million people just laying on about 8 square miles, and it is unbelievable how many people are there, and they just kind of in their own little world and stuff like that. Adam asked me, is Lance even in the conversation? Speaking about Trey Lance in San Francisco, he could be. It really just depends on Brock Purdy's timeline of getting back, and we'll see how that goes. We just don't know yet. Williams Rose says the city that never sleeps. Absolutely.
That's right, Mr. Boone.
That's New York. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. We definitely got to get you back up there sometime soon. And hopefully next spring when the Yankees are back playing again, it'll definitely be a little bit better than what we're seeing this year. I did make a mistake a couple of years ago about trying to go to opening day. It's cold. I ain't doing that no more. I went to opening day and about froze my tail off. I drank so much hot chocolate until I couldn't drink anymore. I just had to go. I couldn't take it no more. It was April in New York can be nice or warm, or sometimes it can be a little cold. Paul says Purdy has no restrictions and Shanny loves him. Barring injury, Purdy starts. No, I totally agree. Hopefully there are no setbacks. Lance has looked a little bit okay, pretty decent in preseason. So no telling if he's, going to really, really push Purdy. Competition is good. It's good if he is developing, especially during the preseason. In the event that Purdy does get hurt, you got a capable, competent quarterback that can step in behind him. As we saw last year, even with the 49ers, the premium of having a quality backup really counts. Hell, you might want to go ahead and start letting McCaffrey get a couple of third-string snaps while you're at it, because you never know.
They've adjusted the rules to allow for 2 backup quarterbacks now for the playoffs. So,
that is true. Thank
God for that, man, because I don't know why that was ever the case anyway. So
that was crazy.
Game out here.
Yeah. It's kind of funny to see how that all panned out and everything. But, I've been saying for years, man, that you got to have a decent backup, because in this day and age with these edge rushers that are faster, stronger, and everything else, and getting home to these quarterbacks, and a lot of these quarterbacks relying on their legs to get them out of danger. And a lot of times it does, but sometimes, boy, you run into some hurt and some licks and stuff like that. So unless you're Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers that can get them balls out in less than 3 seconds, if you don't have a able and ready backup, I mean, that can tank your whole season. Everything else can be looking good, but if you don't have that guy back there that can that availability is the best ability, and if he can't be there, that can ruin the whole season. Adam says poor Bengals definitely need to look at better options.
I agree.
For real. Amen to that, brother. But hey, let's get cranking, man. Let's talk about this AFC East. And we'll talk, and what we'll do is we'll look at the teams, we'll talk about some of their key additions and things like that. Anywhere y'all want to go with that. And then, hey, let's hammer it out. Rand, I know you always do a great job preseason every year breaking down each division. If you don't see it, y'all, check it out on the Water Cooler on Facebook. He'll break down every single division, give you his take on it, who's up, who's down, and then basically how the rankings are going to shake out. And I'll tell you, most of the time, it comes out pretty close.
You know what? I'm patting myself on the back. I predicted 4 of the 8 divisions completely right last season.
Wow.
Including playoff teams. So them analysts out there for ESPN, I'm coming for your job.
Hey, they're cutting a lot of the big salaries right now, so you really got a shot. just tell them don't pay you what they pay Keyshawn or Stephen A, and they'll probably hire you. Say, I'll work for a little bit lower than that. You know, you don't have to pay me that much. Then maybe you can have a 20-year career. But if they pay you too much, then they're going to get rid of you right now.
You got that right.
William says he's often spot on, too. You are. You really
Appreciate
are.
It, brothers. Appreciate it.
And you know, when we do these shows, we really we take it seriously. We definitely want to look at the talent. Everybody knows that Rand's a diehard Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Everybody knows that me growing up in Charlotte, I'm a Carolina Panthers fan, as well as Rand's a Panthers fan too. But we don't necessarily let those fandoms, blindly steer us most of the time. And even watching Rand break down the NFC North, the AFC North, you would know that he did not do that. He did not pick the Steelers to win the division. He didn't. And Paul says, I got to run Niners over Bengals in the Super Bowl, barring big injuries of key players. Also, I'm working on a bet, Randall. No pink tutus involved. Thanks, Paul. Oh, man. You can always catch the replay on YouTube and Amazon, Paul. So thank you for doing that. And please share the link if you hadn't done that already. We got a couple of people already that have joined that I can see. So thank y'all for doing that. Jermaine Parker, what's going on, sir? That's my little brother there. But yeah, I support the Bengals pick, Adam says. Okay. That's interesting. So somebody's thinking that the Buffalo Bills window has closed. And speaking of the Buffalo Bills, they are up first when we're talking about the AFC East. Buffalo Bills have been the perennial favorites in the NFC. I'm gonna get this right, in the AFC East for the last several years now. They still have Josh Allen there returning back. I know that their focus is going to be, Adam says, trying to get to the Bengals Steelers game this year in the jungle.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's going to be a fight. That's going to be a nice game. That's going to be a good game. I wonder if that's a primetime game.
It would be great if it was.
Man. Yeah. Yeah, bro. Definitely try. If you can get to that, by all means. I ain't mad at you. I'm jealous. But yeah, the Bills are returning Josh Allen back. The quarterback, he's backed up by Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen has been making his way through the league. He's going to become the new Josh McCown. And then Matt Barkley. Matt Barkley, actually saw him in the preseason game the other day. Actually had a couple of nice little throws and some tight windows. I was a little surprised. Yeah. Barkley's been hanging around for a while. He's currently third in the depth chart, but those things can always change around too. But definitely you need a good, capable quarterback room when you've got Josh Allen, who over the last couple of years, has probably taken a lot more hits than I would like to see any quarterback take. He's going along the route of Cam Newton in a lot of ways. He puts it all on the line for his team. He doesn't have to prove to anybody how tough he is. He is definitely one of the toughest quarterbacks that I've seen in the NFL.
He definitely doesn't shy away from the hits, man. I mean, he'll take that ball, run it straight up the middle, and not care who he's got to run over or get hit by. He doesn't care.
I think somebody told me he's a running back.
For real.
I wonder if he goes to the quarterback meetings or the running back meetings, because, I mean, damn.
I'm saying, man.
Like, he runs power. He runs power plays. Like, dude, what are you doing? And a lot of times it's not like, some quarterbacks run to extend the play and all that kind of stuff. And then some just, their design runs, and some of them, plays break down, the pocket starts to collapse, and they're basically running for their life. Dude I don't even know if it's a design play. He just takes off a lot of times. I don't know if he's going through all of his reads, or if he just says, hey, I see pressure coming on a guy that's not going to be blocked, so I'm going to go ahead and take off and not give him time to square up on me and all that kind of stuff. But he definitely has. I know they've made it a point of emphasis to have him rely more on his weapons. I know that there was some off-season drama about Stephon Diggs on the team and not being happy and that kind of thing. I'm a little worried about that aspect, because Diggs kind of had that same thing going in Minnesota with Kirk Cousins, and he pushed for a trade. One of my wildest predictions for the season is he won't make it past the trade deadline in Buffalo.
Wow. You better be wrong. You better be wrong about that one, man, because that's gonna. I can see that happening if they get off to such a poor start.
Yeah, absolutely.
That communication between him and Allen is just not there, and all the beef that they're talking about and stuff translates over into the field. Yeah, I could see something like that.
And they've been trying to downplay it. But, a lot of people say, hey, where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't always subscribe to that. But I believe, like you just said, if they get off to a slow start, there's going to be some hit. And I got a reason to believe that could happen. Their first game is on 9/11 against the New York Jets.
Yeah.
That's going to be a dogfight. That's an 8 o'clock game.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
That's going to be in New York. Then they play Vegas at home. Vegas might be retooled. Garoppolo's there now. And, all Jimmy does is win. So we'll see. Then they got to go. Then they go to Washington to play the new Commanders, or whatever the hell Magic Johnson's going to name them. Oh, Lord. And then they got to go and then they got to play Miami at home, Jacksonville at home, the New York Giants at home. That's their first 6 games. If they're not 4-2, 5-1, and they're 3-3, 2-4, yeah, it's going to be some problems.
Yeah. I mean, people that don't believe that it's possible, I mean, I just can take you back to the days of Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger. That was one of the best passing combinations in the league at the time, and at the height of them being, at the top of their game. But there was a little dissension there after that loss to the Broncos in the playoff game. Ben blamed AB blamed Ben, and that relationship started to disintegrate, and it also started to, spill over into the field. So It can happen.
It can happen. Adam just says just what I was about to go into. No running game in Buffalo. It's going to hurt them. Also says hopefully trades happen like last year. And then Williams says they have a tough schedule too. They really do. And I know this same time last year, Rand, I had literally said, how long can the window for Buffalo stay open before, and I was saying that with the premise that, what? I just had to, in my mind, believe that either Belichick is going to figure it out without Brady and get the Patriots back. But now there's a new wrinkle in this. Miami's up and coming, and now the Jets are up and coming. So just sitting there, as the late Denny Green used to say, you want to crown them. You can't just sit there and ink Buffalo in anymore. You got to write that down in pencil, because there's some other people now coming after them to say, you know what, y'all had your chance, but the longer and longer y'all keep bull crapping, somebody else is going to come for you.
They're here. They have arrived. The New
Yep.
York Jets have arrived. They're at the front door of the Buffalo Bills right here, right now.
And I hear they just signed Dalvin Cook too.
Yeah. So
I know, and it doesn't look good. I mean, running backs for Buffalo: James Cook, Damian Harris, Latavius Murray, and somebody named Darrington Evans.
Yeah.
Does not. If I was an opposing team, does not spark any fear in me at all. I'm still looking for Josh Allen to run.
James Cook is going to get his turn at being the lead back. He's a bit undersized, 5'10", 5'11", 190 pounds for a running back. Usually will get you banged up pretty good. And they got for a backup Damian Harris, who is really capable in New England for the past couple of seasons. And then they got Murray, who's done his thing for the Saints and for Denver previously. But you're right. Nobody that really scares you.
Right. I mean, everybody can't have a Derrick Henry on their team. I get that, but you're right. Damian Harris in Belichick's system did really well because, I mean, they were really – but you got to remember, Belichick, when he wanted to run the ball, he was focused on running the ball. Buffalo, what scares me with them is when the running game stops working, then they go straight pass, quarterback read, run, quarterback power, this and that and the other. And then, like, Ben says, who that? Adam says, not sure the defense for Buffalo is going to keep them in it. And that's the problem, too. And Adam also says, I think the window's closed. They haven't added anything. You're right about that, because when you talk about wide receivers, same kind of thing. I don't have my boots shaking. Yeah, you got Stephon Diggs, but then behind him is Dante Hardy, Keyshawn Johnson, a different Keyshawn, of course. You got Gabe Davis, Khalil Shakir, names that you know. But again, do any of those names instill any kind of fear in you? Tight end, you got Dawson Knox. I would be more afraid of the tight end than probably, honestly, some of the receivers. But you need receivers that can stretch that field, and you need to make sure that your defense isn't getting worn out. I preach this every single year, that even the most spectacular defense can look ordinary if your offense is consistently putting you in 3-and-out situations where they're not extending plays and giving the defense enough rest. You need complementary football, and it has to be balanced. You can't just have a great defense and a subpar offense, because they will wear that defense down, not just in that game, but over the course of the season. If that defense isn't getting help from the offense, then they're going to just wear those guys out, and they're not going to be able to make as many spectacular plays for the long haul. So I'm not impressed by their offense at all. I just don't really see. I think they just kind of went status quo and just said, we'll just keep rolling out the same thing that we've had. Yeah. If you're not consistently getting better and everybody else is, your window is going to close. And as we will talk about the rankings in a little bit, I don't have them winning the East. I mean,
the only real change they made at offense was losing Devin Singletary at running back, and they did replace him with Cook, who is another small back like Singletary was. I guess they're going to do it by committee with running back. We'll see how that goes. But they lost a big part of their defense in Tremaine Edmonds, middle linebacker, right in the middle, right in the heart of that defense, man. That was their do everything. Kind of read the tight end, shut down the run and cover. He was capable of doing it all. They lost him to Chicago. They got him replaced with some guy I've never heard of, Mr. Terrell Bernard. So that is a major loss on defense. We're going to see how that transpires. But, I mean, you're right, man. It could be a step back.
And I mean, I know you've got Von Miller, Shaq Lawson still edging and everything else, but again, that's great. Von Miller can stay healthy this year. yeah, maybe you can have a decent defense. At least get somebody to put some pressure on the opposing quarterback. Williams says, I agree with Adam. They're more vulnerable this year, can still win, but not a given anymore.
Correct.
And then Adam says, and is Allen like Mahomes and makes those players good? That's a great point, Adam. A lot of quarterbacks are what we call force multipliers, where even when there are some holes on your team, the quarterback a lot of times can make those people around them better. Does Allen make the players around him better? Maybe in his own way. Does he do it the same way Mahomes does? No, nobody does. That's why he's Patrick Mahomes, But does he inspire his teammates in his own way? I think he does. I think he has command of his team. Those guys respect him. And he's going to have to, because a lot of times now with the way these quarterbacks are being paid, if you're not maximizing that rookie salary in the first 4 years before that quarterback is up for that extension, your windows start to close, because then you allocate so much of your salary cap top heavy to your quarterback that it does put you in a position that your quarterback has to make up for a lot of the things that you don't have because you can't afford to have because you gave it to the quarterback in salary. So hopefully Josh Allen will be able to do that. But a lot of things are going to have to go right for them to be able to get back to conference championship, I believe, Rand.
Yeah, I've been waiting for that window to close too. They always seem to get there, though. They always seem to get there, but they just don't advance.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see. Another team that's coming up on their heels, those Miami Dolphins. And, everybody keeps talking about, man, the Tua can stay healthy. Listen, I am not worried about Tua staying healthy. I think what happened last year was he just had a bad year with these concussions and these hits. Hopefully they've put up some things around him that will prevent a lot of those things from happening. But when you sit there and you say, okay, not as much. I mean, I would say Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, probably better running back than what I would see in Buffalo, maybe. But definitely from the wide receiver standpoint, when you got Tyreek Hill on one side, you got the Cheetah on one side, and you got Jalen Waddle on the other side. I mean, go ahead and you stop right there.
And stop right there.
I mean, what you gonna do? Who are you double teaming? Because when you got Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, it's you talk about your number one wide receiver. It's really in that instance you got a 1 and a 1A. Who are you going to put your best corner on, and who are you going to put that second corner on, and not give him any help?
Better pack a lunch, man, if you're the defensive coordinator trying to slow that ball down.
Yes, and Tua showed me enough to know that he can throw some deep balls to these guys and get them out there. I mean, all they got to do is be pretty straight with it, and they're going to go up and get it. And most of the time, they're going to come down with it. So I'm not as worried about, Tua, as long as he keeps himself out of harm's way. And what I mean by that is just getting rid of the ball, filling the pocket, stepping up in the pocket. If there's nothing there, throwing the ball away and live to fight another day, not try to play a bunch of hero ball. Hopefully they've instilled that in him. I think Mike McDaniel is a good coach to really be able to reiterate a lot of that to Tua. So I'm not really worried about Tua staying healthy.
Yeah. I don't know. We will have to see. It's just one of those things like health is weird, man. Sometimes it could be a trend, like my guy who's a middle linebacker for the Panthers who just never could stay.
Dan Morgan.
Yes, Morgan. Sometimes it could be a trend, and then
that's true.
It could be,
I thought about that. I was hoping that he wouldn't be cursed like Morgan was.
I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like that.
He reminded me of Lee in Dallas when he was out there. He was great.
Yeah,
but he was always hurt.
Yeah. And Kuechly kind of had that same thing to a lesser extent. It did cut his career short.
Yep.
But he was out there a whole lot more than Dan Morgan. But
definitely. But he started giving me Morgan vibes too, because he was starting to look a little shaken up a lot of times because he always ran the contact. He was always there first. Joe Lowry, what's going on, man? Leo season. And Adam did say if they can get Tua moving, those wide receivers will be muted. I don't think Tua is the right guy for what they have built in Miami. Good evening, fellas. Been a while. Looking forward to the season. Yes, sir, Joe. Back to Adam's point, I think I know what you mean by if they get him moving and scrambling, then that kind of negates the speed that Waddle and Tyreek Hill possess because they more or less stretch the field. If you give him a little bit of time and Waddle and Hill do beat their coverage with double moves or whatever moves they use, there is a good chance that, and I don't know about that, Adam. I saw him, when healthy, get the ball to Tyreek Hill plenty of times. So I hear you, but and I know it's a lot of ifs as far as his health and everything. But if he does stay healthy, I do expect the Dolphins to really be in it. That's why it's going to be really, really hard and a lot of people are expecting the AFC East to turn out 2 to 3 teams in the playoffs. I don't see it. If you can't get, I can see of course, if you win the division, you got a spot, but you got to remember that only leaves 3 wild cards in each conference. And we're already talking about just the AFC East. We haven't got to the AFC West. We haven't gotten to the AFC South. And damn sure I think the AFC North got something to say about whether you're going to get 3 teams out of this division. The North is going to be a bloodfest.
Yeah, for real.
So how do you just chalk up 3 teams out of the AFC East? That's why everybody talking about the New York Jets in the Super Bowl. I'm like, well, you got to go through Miami and Buffalo. And I'm not saying that they can't, but somebody got to fall. I mean, if you get 2 out of the East, that's probably possible. A third means that the North fell apart and the West ain't hitting on nothing. Yeah. You know, I got a feeling Jacksonville going to do their thing this year in the South. And then the rest of that division is what it is. Because I don't even see Tennessee and Indianapolis and Houston really being a wild card if they don't win their division. But if Jacksonville wins the division, that might be the only team that I see coming out of the South. So again, there's only 3 wild card spots. So if you don't think that Buffalo is going to win the division, but they can still get in as a wild card, and then you go to the North and you think Cincy wins the division, but you don't. But what about Baltimore? What about Pittsburgh? It's man, the AFC is tough. If some of these teams were in the NFC, hell, they all go to the playoffs. But they're not. They're all fighting for 3 spots if they don't win their division. That's the crazy thing. That's why I opened it up by saying I don't think 10 wins in the AFC gets anybody into the playoffs at all. I don't see it. You better win. You better win 11. You better win 12. Hell, you might have to go 13-4. It was 13. Yeah, 13-4 now. So you just cannot count on being 2 games above 500, and that's going to get you into the playoffs. I just don't see it, Rand. Not in the AFC. In the NFC, yeah, absolutely. I see 9-win team being a wild card, possibly, or a 10-win team.
I could definitely see Jacksonville 9-8 winning the South and no other team even coming close to.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could see that for the
exactly.
South. Mm-hmm. But definitely not for the other divisions. Miami, one good thing about that, they went out and got themselves our boy Mike White to back up Tua.
Mike who?
Tua goes down. Mike White. So he's a little bit more capable than what they had last year.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And I think, and you're right, and I think Mike White, he showed in glimpses that he can carry a team and he can throw for a whole lot of yards.
You can put him up,
says NFC South for sure. Hey, don't we talk about my NFC South? For 9 games. Joe says Mike White is a good pickup. He definitely is. Adam said losing early is going to crush the hopes of many teams. you're right. And a lot of teams, their schedules, they're starting out the gate divisional games. That's already just like, division games is like 2 games.
Yeah.
Because tiebreakers are involved in that. So losing one of those games carries a whole lot more weight than losing an out of division game or out of conference game. So definitely going to be crazy to see some of these games this year. Speaking of the schedule, when you look at the Miami Dolphins, before we go into the next team, they start out September the 10th on that Sunday against the Chargers, and then they got the Patriots. Those are some winnable games. Then they have Denver, and then they have Buffalo. So by the 4th game, they're already playing the Bills.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. So their first 4 games is going to be very, very interesting. They got a chance to maybe go 2-2, 3-1. I don't see anything better than that. I don't see them going 4-0 in that situation.
Nah, I don't either. I mean, not if they got to play the Chargers. Miami secondary is a little banged up with Jalen Ramsey taking a step back, and who else? Xavier Howard. He was their man for the past couple of seasons, but even he took a step back last year too. So
he did.
Yeah,
he did.
We will see.
Eli Apple is still out there at corner. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, you're right. Ramsey is definitely there. We'll see how they gel. Their defense just used to be so good and everything, but you can't play on reputation. You got to have the right guys out there right now. They are running a base 3-4. So hopefully that'll give them a little bit more on the outside to be able to pressure quarterbacks and things like that. They got Bradley Chubb as one of their linebackers too. So we'll see how Chubb does. That'll be interesting as well.
Yeah.
Looking at the New England Patriots, this is Mac Jones' 3rd year. And this year, I believe they actually have an offensive coordinator for him. So we'll have to see how that's going to go. But Mac Jones we think he's the starter, but Bill Belichick keep making it sound like, well, he's competing with Bailey Zappi. The good old Belichick, though, look, Bill need to stop this because he did that same crap last year with the coordinators talking about, well, it doesn't really matter who's the coordinator, still the head coach. You see how that worked out, Bill. You better figure out who the starter is and go ahead and call him the starter. Anthony, hey, what's up, Anthony Price? The Commanders fan. If Mac Jones does bad this year, he might be gone next year. I don't know if he'll be gone.
No doubt.
I don't know if he'll be gone. You're right. He probably will. But I kind of see him being somebody's backup. I mean, I see him cutting him because he's still in his rookie contract. So if he plays bad this year, are they going to give him an extension? No. They're going to cut him. Now, it'll kind of be almost the way of Sam Darnold in the way that, hey, some of it is simply because you didn't put him in a good environment to win because he came out as a rookie. He did okay, except for one game. You only had him throw 3 passes against Buffalo, which was the craziest game in the world. And then the following year, you had 2 bums as his offensive coordinators, and that just kind of set him back. The thing with quarterbacks is they got to have that guy that's in their ear consistent and things like that, or you're just ruining the guy. And when you make an investment in a quarterback, especially a first-round pick, what did he go, number 12? When you're making that high of a pick, you want to set that guy up for success because you can waste those years on him. And then when it's time to for that second contract, now you don't want to give it to him because you don't know what he is and who he is. And a lot of that is because it's self-inflicted. They did that to him. So hopefully, I'm rooting for the guy to at least have some kind of consistency in his life, or he'll just be another Baker Mayfield going from one team to another. Joe says that Belichick impression was spot on. Well, we got to do. We're going to move game to game. We're on next week to our next opponent, and we'll go from there. Next question. I don't want to answer that. I don't like you. Yeah, he's just so dry. You're just like, Geez, dude, do you ever smile? When I saw Bill Belichick smile for the first time, it almost scared the crap out of me because I was like, he better kill somebody.
I'm not sure I've ever seen it.
I seen it. And I was afraid. I was like, that ain't really a good look on you. Go back to being smug and dry and aloof, you know. But people, players say they see him smile all the time. Like,
crazy.
It ain't in no press conference, definitely. And Anthony Price says the same way with Trey Lance. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sitting there, is he the guy? Is he not the guy? Is he the guy? Is he not the guy? Oh, we just gave away 3 first-round picks for him, and now he ain't even the starter. Like, damn. Wow.
It's a heavy investment to make, man, to find out otherwise, I think the Patriots, they took Mac Jones just based on his intelligence. They wanted an intelligent quarterback because they had Brady for so many years. We'll go get us an intelligent quarterback. And then they find out, yeah, Mac Jones is intelligent, but he don't have that Brady ability.
Right. And they think that if they get a tall white guy that kind of looks like Brady, he can be Brady. That is not how you get a quarterback. That's just crazy. That makes no sense at all. Some guys are just good at what they do, and you just can't clone them that way by saying we'll just draft the next one that kind of fits the mold and everything, and he's going to turn out to be that guy. There's a lot of things that play into quarterbacks having a long-term success and things like that, or they start out really, really good and then they flame out after 3 or 4 years. So you wonder why some guys can last 15 years and some guys can only last 4 or 5 years. Sometimes it's just bad luck and a lot of that too. But when it comes to that quarterback, not changing coordinators, and I bring up Baker Mayfield not because I really particularly care for Baker, but in his defense, having a different coordinator or head coach every single year probably screwed him up more than anything, other than the fact that he's short. That one they bought. Other than he's short, and I don't like short quarterbacks, but I'll pocket that for the NFC South because I got worries about my Carolina Panthers, even in preseason losing 27-0 to the New York Jets. I don't like that at all. I mean, lose fine, 27-0. Did y'all show up? Did you come? Jesus. Did y'all not know there was a game? Jesus. Oh my God. Even preseason. I'm sorry. I know it's preseason. But 27-0? Damn. Adam says Rand loves Baker.
Adam, you're not going to do this year. We're not going to start this year off with that crap. You take that comment back.
That's why I couldn't get it out.
Retract it right now.
God. He says you love Baker. Oh, I don't know where you got that from, Rand.
I would literally assassinate Baker if I saw him. Well, not anymore. He could continue his play for Tampa Bay.
He says, yes, I am. Never. Oh my gosh. So yeah, whether it's Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi, they just need some consistency from the coordinator standpoint. Ramondre Stevens is coming back as your running back. Ezekiel Elliott.
Poor fit, in my opinion, but
when did somehow I missed that. When did they sign Zeke?
Yeah, they signed Zeke a couple of days ago, man.
Okay.
Nobody else wanted him. New England takes him in. He's going to be their first down and second down back, I guess, because he's coming off the field for third down.
Exactly.
Ain't no way you can leave him out there, especially not in Belichick's offense. So I don't think that's a good fit.
Anthony says, I like Kenny Pickett to be a dark horse. People are sleeping on him. I'm sure Rand is going to agree with that wholeheartedly.
All right.
And Adam says Monday they sign Zeke. That's cool. We'll see how that works out. Yeah, I can see that being a change of pace, or maybe they're going to try to use Stevenson more like they used to do my other man, James White, where they have him also catching some balls out of the backfield. Yeah. Zeke is definitely a good blocking back where he can do a lot of chips and things like that. If he's still in the same physical health that he has been, he's always been kind of good for that.
Just don't have him blocking and hiking at the same time.
I was about to say that. I was about to say, don't have him as the center. So I think if you keep him away from Dallas, you don't have to worry about him trying to hike the ball and
Oh,
yeah. Oh, good times. Did you say Zeke can block? He picks up block. He does pick up blocks pretty well, Adam. I can't type that fast enough. He used to in Dallas, when he wasn't getting the ball on first and second downs, he would actually do pretty well to pick up blocks, not sit there and block on the line or anything like that, but maybe sit there and stop somebody's progress impede their progress to the quarterback. He was good for that. A lot of backs have problems with that, or they just simply get bowled over and they're not really impeding anybody from getting to the quarterback, is what I mean. It's kind of like the same thing with tight ends. There's some tight ends that can chip and things like that, and there's other ones that are really more tall wide receivers. That was his rookie contract. Then he got paid. Quit. Well, he did, but hopefully he'll be inspired that, bro, you got cut and it took you 5 months to find another job. I'm hoping that reality set in for Zeke that, hey, and I'm sure I didn't see the terms of the contract, but I would imagine that it's a 1-year contract probably. Somebody let me know.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Those are prove-it contracts. And and more times than not, when they give you a prove-it contract, not only is it for a year, but it's normally laced with incentives, meaning you got to play a certain amount of snaps, you got to do this, you got to do that for a lot of those bonuses to trigger. So 1 year, yes, not sure on the amount. So a lot of that is
$6 million.
Yeah, he probably got a signing bonus. He probably got a workout bonus. Like I said, he's got to play a certain percentage of snaps more than likely. All those kind of things to trigger in more incentives. So a lot of times they'll give you veterans minimum, maybe a little bit more than that, because the running back market is total doo-doo right now anyway. They're not paying running backs anything. And he's one of the reasons why. He is definitely one of the reasons why. You pay him, you go to Cabo, then you come back, we done paid you, and now we don't even know if the real guy came back from Cabo because he never was the same after that. Carries went down, yards went down quickly. Everybody ain't Adrian Peterson and can do it for so long. And then after Adrian fell off, he fell off a lot because the running backs get paid and quit. I don't know if they get paid and quit. I think what happens is they get overused during their rookie contracts and worn out.
Yeah, I believe that's more accurate.
Yeah, and then what happens is by the time they're due for that second contract, normally you're paying a guy for what you think they can do. But with running backs, the way that they've overused them, you almost got to pay the dude for what he already did for you. All them years where you underpaid him.
Yeah.
You can't project him because most running backs' durability, their lifespan goes the other way. A quarterback, if he's not so much a mobile quarterback, but a guy that can sit there and read the defense and pick up the protections and step in the pocket and things like that, and know when to throw the ball away, know how to slide, all those kind of things, they can extend their career. So when you're handing out that second contract, you feel a lot more confident about that. Same thing with a wide receiver. But those positions where they're constantly getting hit and stuff like that, like a running back that runs into contact, that second contract is scary because you don't know if the guy's going to be a shell of himself anymore. Anthony says, pop quiz, who gets paid first, Chris Jones or Nick Bosa?
Nick Bosa.
Nick Bosa.
Bosa's a little bit younger. Bosa's going to reset the market. Even if Jones gets paid first, Bosa's going to make more and reset the market anyway. So,
agreed. Adam said, name one that got paid and kept going. I get that they get worn out, but not many keep it up at that level. But that's my point, Adam. They got paid after the production.
Christian McCaffrey is still going for San Fran.
He is.
Got his money and he's still going.
Yeah. And you will find a guy like that. Derrick Henry, still going.
Still going.
You'll get guys, you'll get some guys like that. But a lot of these guys, the way that they run these plays and stuff, you remember the time when CMC is one of the few. That's the point. You're right, he is. But like I told Rand at the beginning of last year when it came to McCaffrey, I said, Rand, you know what I really think they need to do with McCaffrey to extend his career? They need to, instead of just always lining him up in the backfield, they need to put him in the slot. They need to put him in motion where maybe he starts in the backfield. They put him in motion, and then he runs in the slot and catches screen passes and things like that. That way, he's not always trying to create elusiveness out of the backfield, but he's already 2 yards, 3 yards across the line of scrimmage when he gets the ball. Now with that elusiveness, he can get even further up the field. And once he got to San Fran, I don't know, maybe Shanahan watches the show. What did they do? They put him in the slot, they put him in motion, and he started catching passes and taking it to the house. And I'm just like, oh my God. Adam says, but not every running back can play that way. Exactly. That's my point. You keep making my point, Adam. Every running back can't play that dynamic. Some of them, they can't catch like that. They can't catch in traffic. They can't catch off screens like that and then cause the first guy to miss and get to the second level. You're right. So a lot of those pounders, the Leonard Fournette, where is he this year? I'll wait. You ain't gonna see him. Kamara, he's broken down. He was catching passes out of the backfield. Hopefully he gets it together this year. But you see a lot of these guys that they're not built like McCaffrey is. His dad was a wide receiver. He learned how to catch passes as much as he learned how to run out the backfield. But a lot of those guys aren't built like that, Rand, so they only play one way. And when they play that way consistently and they're getting 200-300 carries a season, that will catch up with you. It caught up with Cam Newton. Every quarterback didn't run to the pain and take all the hits that Cam took. Where's Cam? Anthony has a good point, too. I fear the Falcons are going to run Bijan Robinson so much he won't last 3 years.
You're giving away my fantasy secret, bro.
Oh.
Brian is in my league, too. But you don't draft ahead of me, Brian, so I ain't worried about it.
I ain't touching Bijan with a 10-foot pole.
Okay.
You can have him. Oh God! But I'm feeling the same way about Indianapolis starting their rook. So we'll see. Adam says, "Me too." Yeah. Hey, I'm Anthony.
Oh man, Adam. Yeah, don't grab Bijan. I think I read something about a ACL injury.
Right. Heart condition. It's like. Yeah, don't take him.
Don't take him.
You remember all them years we had the fantasy league, and it was always who was going to get first because you knew whoever got first was going to get Adrian Peterson. It was Peterson every year. Yep. Peterson. And then I forgot who the next guy was, but yeah, there were just certain guys that would just come off the board so fast. Adam says, with the number one pick.
No.
That's hilarious. Hilarious.
Anthony, look what you did.
Oh, man. Giving away them trade secrets. That's funny. But, yeah, the Patriots, outside of that, they've got Juju Smith-Schuster at wide receiver. Good luck with that. Devontae Parker and Kendrick Bourne does not inspire a whole lot. Hunter Henry at one point was really good with the Chargers. Hadn't really seen him do a lot in New England. He hadn't been healthy a lot. And then Mike Gesicki as a backup tight end. They do like to run a lot of 21, so they may have two tight end sets in New England. They are running their 3-4 defense. And, I mean, that's where Belichick really likes to put his stock is into the defense and have a bunch of low-scoring games and everything. So we'll see if that works for him. But I'm not expecting a whole lot out of the Patriots this year.
Negative.
Not at all. And rounding out the AFC East, we do have the New York Jets, who, if anybody hadn't heard, they've just signed 50-year-old quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Zach Wilson has been what Anthony say. That's why you draft smart. It's a lot of other running backs that's good. Yeah, you really got to just. But I will say, as my fantasy thing, people always wonder why I do it. The position that people run out of first is tight end from an offensive side of the ball. That's why my first couple of handful of picks, people be like, damn, he done picked up 2 tight ends already. Yeah, because I can always come back and find a guy to be a running back. And that's the other problem with the devaluation of running backs. People are really banking on the fact that if you have a decent offensive line and you have a guy, look at what Carolina did after getting rid of McCaffrey. Their running game actually got better. So, a lot of times those things can happen like that. And they did it with a guy, just a jag, just a guy. So a lot of times you're just looking for another jag.
We had a dumbass coach.
Well, that too. And Steve Wilkes definitely got the most out of his running back room after they had to get rid of Matt Rule, which they should have never hired to begin with, but a whole nother story. How many fantasies you won drafting a tight end so early? Well, I did win one year and came in second the following year.
Yeah. B1 in my league, which is a tough league to win in. I'll tell you that right now. I want to say about 2-3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. So yeah. I normally finish pretty well, to be honest. Stand up for my boy. Stand up for my boy.
I gotta do pretty good. I ain't gonna, I do that. You have to, because especially those tight ends, are safety blankets for quarterbacks. When you guys just said earlier about flushing Tua out can mute Waddle and Tyreek Hill. Well, when you flush out a quarterback, who comes back? The tight end. Who's sitting there in the middle of the field? Because now the linebackers have moved up closer to the quarterback. Who is he dumping the ball off to that can turn up and give you that 7-8 yard gain? It's the tight end. I'm just saying, who's left? Hell, if the wide receivers have already run all the way down the field 25, 30 yards, who's left to receive?
Oh, snap. I'm looking at the clock. We got like 20 minutes to do.
I know. Yeah, I know. It went that fast. So the Jets got Aaron Rodgers. Breece Hall is going to be there. Dalvin Cook right now is set at second in pecking order. And then Michael Carter. I got a feeling Dalvin Cook is going to be the starting running back on this team.
He's going to split carries with Breece Hall. I guess if Breece is healthy enough to do it.
Yeah.
But the Jets, to me, are looking pretty fantastic.
I think they have the better wide receiving corps out of their whole division. They've got Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard, Corey Davis, Randall Cobb. I know Cobb is old. McCole Hardman. They got a better running back room. They got a better wide receiver room. Tyler Conklin is their tight end, and they got Uzama as well as a tight end.
And don't forget about that defensive front four, which is absolutely lights out fantastic, as Carolina just found out.
Yes, sir. Yeah, exactly. How many times did they knock down our rookie and put pressure on him? The issue with the Jets will be, can they play together? I agree. Will this team gel together? We will see. I really think that this will be good for Zach Wilson, too, to learn from Aaron Rodgers as much as possible. But this will be really, really good. I think I've not seen New York this excited about the Jets in a long time. So we'll see how that goes. So, Rand, the way that I got it cranking out this year, I've got Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots.
Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Patriots. So I have it, even with the Bills window closing, I have the Bills and the Jets swap. Jets schedule is brutal, even harder than Buffalo's. So I got the Bills, Jets, Dolphins, and then finishing up the 4 is the Patriots. So
you're right. I mean, their very first game is against Buffalo, September the 11th. Of course, that is a 8:15 primetime Monday Night Football game, starting Monday Night Football off hard.
Yeah.
Then they got Dallas, win. New England, win. KC, though. The fourth game is Kansas City. Damn. Then they got Denver, win. Then they got Philly.
Yeah, that schedule's pretty tough, man.
Yeah, and those are and those first 6 games come, and then they have a bye in week 7. Aaron can destroy a team.
Aaron.
Yeah, I had to put it together. Yeah. Only if they have a C on their helmet, because he says, I own you and I always will. One of the best quotes ever. I've owned you and I always will. We'll see if he can own other teams like that, because as much as he can be a regular season MVP, he's got one Super Bowl ring to show for it. So does he really destroy people? So, we'll see about that. Let's move on over to the NFC East, because as Rand said, we are running behind on that. But we've had some good conversation. Y'all keep it going, and I'll just talk faster. Let's start out with the Dallas Cowboys. Sorry, I'm warming up for the preseason. That just rolls off my tongue too easily. Cowboys fans,
that one caught me off guard.
Yeah, no, right? Go Cowboys. We them boys and all that, whatever that means. You're bringing back the prolific passer in Dak Prescott. His main partner in crime, backing him up, the prolific Cooper Rush, and then also Will Greer.
I can tell you can't stand Dallas, boy.
Oh, God.
Everybody's prolific.
I know, we them boys. And you got now Tony Pollard being your main running back. So we're going to really see, this is the dynamic that I wanted to see when they got rid of Amari, and to see if CeeDee Lamb would be able to step up. Now with Ezekiel out of the shadow of Pollard, Dak less than 10 interceptions. Poof. Baha Adam. Yeah, I don't know about that, because he already thrown them in practice, they said. So I know practice, but damn. You got a red jersey on. How much time do you got to throw the ball? They're not going to hit you. You know it. But anyway. But yeah, so we'll see if Tony Pollard can stand up and be a 3-down back. He's backed up by Ronald Jones, who's suspended, Malik Davis. So I don't know about that running back depth. That is a question to me. They didn't address that. CeeDee Lamb, of course, is going to be your number one receiver, along with Brandon Cooks, who they picked up. Cooks, I'll just say this real quick. When healthy, decent, speedy guy, but he has a problem staying healthy. I know this because I used to draft him on my fantasy leagues all the time, and I would have to trade him every time before the end of the season.
Yes, sir.
Michael Gallup coming back from the ACL 2 years ago. And Rand, I think this will be a better year for Gallup, because what people don't realize is with ACLs, the year you come back, normally you're relearning your body. It's that second year where you kind of get into yourself again and do the things that made you special. So yeah. I wasn't expecting a lot out of him last year, and he really didn't do a lot. I expect him to be a lot more involved in the offense this year like he was before he got hurt.
You can recover from an ACL injury more quickly if you are a defensive or offensive lineman, where you're Correct. Not moving like you have to move and cut on a repaired knee as much as a skill position.
Absolutely. I agree with that. You've got Tyron Smith still at the left tackle, Tyler Smith left guard, Zach Martin. We'll see if he's going to be there. But he's slated as a starter right now, so we'll see how that goes. Isn't he trying to get another contract?
They paid him his money.
They did give it to him. So Jerry did all of that bluster, and then he ends up paying him.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about
middle linebacker Leighton Vander Esch? Michael Parsons slated for the edge. We'll see how many plays they line him up that way. That's going to be a lot into it. They also signed Stephon Gilmore in the offseason, so we'll see if he can bring some veteran leadership to the locker room. I do like their defense. They still got Trayvon Diggs. I like Dallas's defense a lot.
I do too.
Their offense scares the hell out of me because of their quarterback.
Yeah.
He's going to have games where he throws for 400 yards. He's going to have games where he throws for 175 yards. Yeah, that's
and 3 picks.
And 3 picks. Yeah, exactly. And you just don't know when it's coming. And these poor Cowboy fans, you know it's this our year. I already had one tell me that, Rand. Already.
I don't know why. They know what's coming. They know what's coming. In the past 2 seasons in classic Cowboy.
What I say to them is based on what?
Yeah.
I'm like, do you not understand Philly is still out there? Did they bomb Philadelphia again like they did in the 40s or something?
They have not gone nowhere.
They're still there. So yeah, we'll see. But I got so that's Dallas on that one. Let's talk about the Eagles real quick. Jalen Hurts, as we alluded to, is their starting quarterback. Marcus Mariota is their backup. I'm going to be honest with you. I like that. He's a mobile guy. He will run. They probably, when they sit there and they game plan for other teams with running quarterbacks, a lot of teams, the backup quarterback has to kind of emulate the other team. Marcus can do a little bit of that. Atlanta lost faith in him at the end of the season and everything, and that went sour. But Marcus can run the ball. So can Jalen Hurts. I hope that but what Jalen proved last year, because everybody kept saying this team is set up to win now. We just need to see what Jalen Hurts can do. And I hope that he proved to everybody last year that he is capable of being a franchise quarterback.
More than capable.
Absolutely. Anthony says, but it's been a while since the same team won back-to-back in the NFC East. Well, somebody got to be the first, damn it.
Yeah. I never rely on too much of that either.
I mean, we went with that same stat in the NFC South for years. No team has ever won the South back-to-back, until somebody did.
So somebody does
it. Yeah, ask the Bengals if they sat there when Joe Burrow came, if they sat there and worried about how many years of ineptitude the Bungles had been. Somebody has to come and break the mold. How many years had the Jets been same old Jets? Now this year they have a chance to step out of that shadow. So I get what you're saying, but the Eagles look legit. Even losing Miles Sanders to the Carolina Panthers, they still have DeAndre Swift, who they got from Detroit, right? Rashad Penny, Gainwell, and Boston Scott. So they still got a stable of backs. I like their backs are deeper than Dallas. They got Dallas in backs. They've got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith as their top 2 receivers. So I like those receivers. They got Dallas Goedert in as their tight end. We'll see how that goes. Jason Kelce is still the center. So they still got the formula to me. If that defense can bounce back from last year where they kind of, lost it against Kansas City, lost containment with Patrick Mahomes on a lot of those plays. They can shore up that. Bradbury is going to be back. Darius Slay is going to be back. Fletcher Cox is back. So they got a lot of good pieces in that defense. Miles Jack is back. So they got some decent pieces in that Rand where they didn't fall off much, if they fell off at all.
They ain't fall off at all. I mean, I think I wrote about this in the cooler. When you look at their offensive line and their defensive line, I give them an A+ and probably the strongest line in the trenches of any other team in the league.
Agreed.
Philadelphia is stacked.
Yes.
They're going to be back here in the playoffs. I have them absolutely winning the East.
Easily.
Yeah.
I don't, and people talking about, man, it's going to be a dogfight. No. It's going to be a dogfight for second.
That's right. It's a dogfight for second.
Second. And honestly, it could be a 3-way dogfight for second.
Yeah.
So let's be clear. Speaking about that, let's hit them New York football Giants while we're talking about. Anthony says Washington receivers are better than the Cowboys. That's where I was going with that, Anthony. That's why I said 3-way fight for second. because I ain't giving Dallas anything because I think the Giants and or the Commanders got something to say about it. Yeah, lose a division game to one of them this year, Dallas, and see how you if you make the playoffs. You know this year though. Yeah, right. The Dallas, you got me saying Dallas. The New York Giants have their prolific starter in Daniel Jones, backed up by Tyrod. Don't punch me in the chest. Taylor. That's sad. That's how he lost his job to Justin Herbert. Yeah, I think that was on purpose. And then Saquon Barkley is back as a running back, backed up by Matt Breida. I've always liked Matt Breida. He's a little smaller, but he's a pretty elusive dude. I did like him, especially when he was in San Francisco. Didn't see a lot. I think he ended up, was it Jacksonville or Miami? He went to one of the Florida teams. It didn't really see a lot.
He went to the Dolphins.
Yeah. And but hopefully this will be a better fit for him. I like what Daboll did with that team last year in his first year. Let's see if it was more of a new trend than just a fluke of a season. Daniel Jones looked like with proper coaching, he could be a better quarterback. So we'll see how that goes. Little questionable with the wide receiver depth chart. Cole Beasley is a number 3 receiver. They've got Sterling Shepard, Paris Campbell, Darius Slayton. So we'll see how that group goes together. Tight end, they've got Darren Waller that they pulled over from the Raiders. Hopefully this will be a better year for him health-wise and stat-wise too, because he's a really, really hard tight end when he gets the ball in his hands to bring him down. That's a big dude. Hopefully he can bounce back. He didn't have the best last 2 seasons, but the talent is definitely there.
Yeah, I think they're really going to struggle as far as trying to pass the ball. They got the most out of Daniel Jones last year. I just have difficulty thinking they're going to do that 2 years in a row, especially with the receiver gang that they have this year. I mean, they have no bright spots. They have a bunch of number 2 wide receivers.
Exactly.
They have a rookie in Jalen Hyatt who could be their true bright spot. But he's just a rookie. You know, first-year wide receivers don't always just come out touching everything unless you are in Cincinnati or with the Dolphins.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Now, you go ahead and get Bijan.
Yeah.
Lead Chase for me.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard's always hurt. They do get Darren Waller as a very good tight end. But, again, it's Daniel Jones passing the ball. So I don't know if Daniel does it for me in year 2.
Yeah, we'll see.
The Giants, they look good on the ends.
They took a gamble, Rand. They gave Daniel the money, and then they crapped on Saquon. So we'll see if that actually worked out that way.
Right. We'll see how that plays out.
Absolutely. And Ty Harris, thank you for joining, sir. And yeah, they're playing a 3-4 defense too, so that's kind of funny that they've gone to that. A lot of teams are going to 3-4 this year, so we'll see how that pans out. Lastly, let's step into the Washington Commanders, who were just sold. No more Daniel Snyder in Washington. Ron Rivera is still the head coach, and we will see if our Tar Heels' own Sam Howell will be able to lead this team as he is slated to be the starting quarterback, backed up with Jacoby Brissett, which this is going to be interesting. You got a Carolina quarterback as a starter and an NC State quarterback as his backup. The hell. We got Brian Robinson. I got shot and still had better stats than most running backs, named Ezekiel Elliott. You got Antonio Gibson as his backup and running back. I like their running backs. Brian Robinson was really clutch, and Gibson was too. And then you got that bad man, Terry McLaurin, as a wide receiver. De'Ami Brown from North Carolina. Got a lot of Carolina guys on this team. Then you got Curtis Samuel as a starter. Logan Thomas was a quarterback with, was it West Virginia or Virginia Tech? Virginia Tech, I think it was. Remember all these ACC guys? I remember Logan. He was a quarterback at one point. Alex Arma, fullback. Wow, they got a fullback. Okay. So we'll see if Washington can take that next step. To me, it's about their defense. Chase Young, bro, you got to stay healthy and you got to help this defense out. Everybody keeps waiting for you to take that team over and everything. You got to do it this year. Anthony says, I like Robinson. I like how Robinson came back on the first game to the 50 Cent Mini Men song. Did he really? Well, okay. Well, he backed it up. I mean, that's definitely good. That did not derail his career, and he was actually able to come back as fast as he did and contribute to the team. I think there was just honestly, that team just has so many damn distractions around them that trying to put a product out on the football field was almost the other story. There were other stories hanging around that team all year long.
Yeah, thank God that they got new ownership now. Their future is bright, but I don't think their future begins to be bright this year. That offensive line is offensive.
I like that.
I really struggle to see how they're going to protect Sam Howell in year one. I could be wrong, but
do you see him running a lot?
I don't see Howell running a lot because he's not that fast. So
yeah.
I mean, they do have a good 1-2 punch.
What do you think about Eric Bieniemy now being their OC?
Well, kind of getting off to a rocky start. There are a lot of complaints coming out of the camp that he's pushing them too hard, and they're kind of rebelling back against it. So, that's another issue for Washington. So,
we'll see how that pans out.
We'll see how it all plays out, man.
So, I currently have Philly, Dallas. Sorry, Anthony. New York and Washington.
I have the exact same order.
Okay. Now, I will say, is it possible that Washington and New York can flip? Yes. Is it possible that if Dallas gets off to a rough start, they don't recover? Absolutely. I'm banking on it.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
At least this year, Dallas made it where you had to wait until January to know what was going to happen. Normally, they're out before Thanksgiving. So, and Anthony, that's the only stat that matters to me, not the back-to-back champs or anything. Is Dallas really out of the running before I sit there and cut up my Thanksgiving turkey or ham? That's all I care about. Rand, we pushed it all the way through. That's what I like about a full show like this, and all of the comments from all of you guys out there. Keep it coming. We will do this every single week. We will do the West next week, so we'll do AFC West, NFC West, and we'll just move around that way till we get through all of the teams. But we will definitely do it here at the same time next week. You guys, thank you for tuning in on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. Hell, after a while, maybe I'll get it on Comcast. Who the hell knows? I don't know. Spectrum. I'm looking for you, Lord. Now my mama even enjoying. Sarah Parker is watching. Hey, moms, how you doing? And she just gave me thumbs, and so did Ty. Thank you, Ty. But yeah, thank you all for joining us. Rand, hey, hopefully no more Cleveland Brown fans are gonna come for you next week.
Right.
But we'll take care of them, especially when we talk about the NFC North. They'll definitely find out what it is you have to say about that team. So
yeah, they'll take care of themselves.
Yeah, that's the other part. They will take care of themselves.
Except Mr. Massaji, he has people taking care of him.
Mr. Massaji. I love it. All right, y'all. Well, thanks for joining us for Head to Head Sports. Brian Parker, Randall Hargrove. We'll see y'all next week. Peace out.